Yesterday I got back from an overnight trip to Nice, and the real objective of the trip was to suss out the public transport situation, doing it in a wheelchair. So you have to book the buses and it's all very complicated, but I thought I'd better at least give it a go and get some experience with it. I rang up and got an email confirmation and thought I'd better check I can get to the bus stop. It was finally time to leave the cottage and go and get some bread, and on the way back I decided to check out the bus stop. Not this one, but further on there's heaps of traffic to the junction. There's a morning and an evening bus to Nice. So only 100 metres, so I thought I'd better check out the village of Citroen, but it was uphill. There's a possibility of going off-road on the way back, according to the map. So there's this trail, and then I didn't end up going that way, but I still managed to get myself in trouble. It's pretty fast. I've just got stuck in this ditch, and I'm going to see if I can transfer my way out of trouble before I call for help. Yeah, I don't know about this one. Well, that didn't work. Oh, it looks like I made it up myself, inch by inch. Oh, time for lunch. So the next day I did some admin, just hanging around home, and then the next morning it was a solid push, 25 minutes from the little cottage up to the bus stop. Here I am at the Citroen bus stop. The bus to Nice should be in about 20 minutes, and I'm going to try and negotiate for going back tomorrow afternoon instead of what I booked this afternoon. Because I wasn't able to arrange it on the phone. They said, no, 48 hours. I said 36, but it was only 34, so they gave me a number to ring that wouldn't work, and yeah. So I'm on the bus, and I've just put these bits of things, stop my legs flying all over the place as we turn all these twisty roads. And I wasn't actually allowed on the bus because something happened with the reservation and it got confused. I don't know exactly the whole story. I have to ask what Alina said, talk to him about on the phone. But yeah, I manually transferred up these steps. So even though I'd got a confirmation of my reservation as an email sent to me, and somehow didn't get through to the driver, and he wasn't really going to let me on, but I persisted, and in the end I transferred myself up manually. And yeah, nice scenic ride to Nice, and really I just wanted to test this whole thing, how it all worked. And I thought I'd just stay in Nice overnight anyway, and just, possibly hitchhike back if I had to, but I talked to this driver and asked him to confirm that I could go back tomorrow afternoon, and he did. It was a different driver, but I did actually have the full treatment on the way back, which is the opposite to how I thought it would be, because I thought I'd get it on the way there, but I hadn't made the booking for the way back. But yeah, this is the beautiful village of Castellan, and I've never actually been here, although Sant-André-les-Alpes I've flown from quite a few times, and that's north of here, but I've always flown to the north, so I've never flown in this direction. But as I went through the mountains here on the bus, basically it was the first time I'd seen them, and it did make me want to fly there sometime on a paraglider, but I'll have to do it on a glider instead. Not a lot of landings about though, you need to know where they are. Now we were approaching the last mountains before it drops down to the Cote d'Azur. Those are the east faces where that pilot, Baptiste Onnesson, does his amazing flights. He often gets his first climb in there and flies all over the French Alps and to Switzerland and wherever else he feels like. That's not if he's taking wave lift, which from down that way is Valence, where he gets up to 6,000 metres and flies across to Corsica, Italy and back. He does amazing flights. Yeah, so on our way to Grasse, this is a village about 10 k's to the west, Saint-Villiers-de-Tay. Another beautiful French village, even got the flag hanging there. What else to say? Boulangerie, patisserie. Yeah, I quite enjoyed going through on the bus and seeing all the views, and yeah, it was fun when we got to Nice too, but I was just keeping an eye on the map, and that was the intersection that I thought I might have to hitch from if it came to that, but it didn't, so it was all good. Bit of traffic on the way, and then motorway into Nice, and I went all the way to the airport. That guy didn't let me pay. And I'm going to take the tram into the city. Just spoke to them inside and apparently that's the best way. I took the tram to the end of the line and had a scenic push from the port around the Colline de Château. I saw a sensor and I thought, oh, elevator. I think it just means steps. Colline de la Château. Then I cut off the coast to go back through the street. Markets, I love those fruit from Australia, we used to have those. And then back out to the coast again before having a rest and going to information. Left to the tourist office. So what do you think? Would I fit in one of those with my wheelchair? A little further and I went to the hostel to make my bed and then out to check out, well, have a feed and check out the chemin de fer de Provence, my backup option of getting home. The train on the right is the one that is no problems, but it only goes to Saint André les Alpes, a Orthodox church. I think I clocked up over 10 kilometres, but it was all good and wasn't sore or anything. Some more reminders of Australia and some sea cloud rolling in. Of course I had to go to Decathlon. I got a mat that I'll keep with the wheelchair, an inflatable mat. And another church on the way home and more of those delicious fruit. And then shower time. Next morning, after breakfast, the mission was to go up to Saint-Genès, a mountain village where my mate from work used to live. So I've opted to take the train to Salon-de-Var before heading up to Saint-Genès with the bus. And it probably wasn't the best option. It's $2.40, whereas the tram's only $1.50, and I think the tram's a lot more frequent. There's 20 minutes between the ticket and the scheduled time. But we'll see how it goes. Yeah, it looks like some stops are wheelchair accessible and some aren't in terms of getting on the bus. Not sure how it all works, but yeah, it's kind of the idea to try all the different modes of transport around here and see how difficult it is. But yeah, I had someone helping me at the hostel and she was pretty much bamboozled. She was on the phone for ages and yeah, she ended up saying just go to information, but information is closed this time of the morning. Opens just as the train leaves, so there we go. So the train was a mistake. I had to get 5 young French, really helpful crew that sort of saw me looking a bit lost to give me a lift up the stairs because there's no elevators there. But the bus up to Saint-Genès was a piece of cake. I think I'll give this street a miss. But the church is here. So I put the freewheel on for this part, a few bumps, makes it a bit more comfortable. And I should be able to just squeeze down here. Oh, I suppose I can see it from here. I just saw the guy who was on the bus with me. He went the opposite way to me down that corridor. A fig and an olive, how good's that? I think I hear people climbing the bough. Not sure where they are. Was this worth it? Getting off the bum for a bit. So it was reasonably comfortable having a little break, but it's time to go and meet Pierre's mother in town. One is used to. So it was really nice to catch up with Pierre's parents, unannounced, and they gave me a lift in and I tried the Citroen Ami electric. It turns out I fit, and then I had to rush off for the bus. That's the real way to do it, eh? So it's a bit more complicated this way. After having to go strapping my wheelchair down, I just offer this over here. It's a bit easier. So there goes my bus. He wouldn't let me pay again. And back in paradise. Cool little trip. Lots to talk about that one. I'm back, and on the final stretch, the mostly downhill run on the wheelchair, I was hooning along, and usually I choose the direction. Sometimes I go into traffic because you can at least see what's coming, and I also choose which way has the best visibility towards me. So this time I was on the left, which is the wrong side of the road. And at the worst part for visibility, I was just going through this narrow bit of road and under the railway bridge, and there's a blind corner. There's all these cars coming the other way, and I was like, oh gosh. And they're all fine, but the last one that came through out of that bunch was gendarmerie, the cops. I'm like, oh shit. And they ended up turning around and coming back, and they said to me, took my earphones off, parlez-vous l'anglais, or parlez-vous français, I think they said, yeah. And I said, pas très bien, and they ended up telling me to go à droite, on the right. And I was like, okay, I'll just go a bit further and then I'll pull over, because I thought that's what they're asking me. But they just meant for me to go on the right hand side of the road. It's like, okay, I can do that, no worries. So the next morning I got a lift into Digne.
Comme ça.
Oui.
Attention,
Attention.
transport MDPH. Attention, attention à vous. Oui, c'est bon?
Oui, c'est bon.
Impeccable. Transport dans un camping-car.
Merci.
Je vous en prie.
So I'd organised with Francois to pinch a paragliding strap, and the idea was I could use that to strap to my wheelchair cushion for future bus transfers, maybe. And then you can transfer up the steps on the bus. It's a little bit clumsy though. But I think it's good enough for me. But will it be good enough for the bus drivers? Oh, maybe you can get used to that.